Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Suzie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sharing My Truth Pod. You're here with Mel and Suzie. Thanks so much for tuning in with us today. Here's a sweet little friendly reminder to subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to it, whether it's on Apple or Spotify, or where you get your podcasts. You can also go to YouTube to watch us there. Hey, and subscribe. Join in on the conversation. Go to @Share My Truth Pod on any of our socials as well, Instagram, TikTok, and you can leave us a comment, DM, watch our clips, and tell us about how wrong or right we are. We love your opinions. And you can also go to our Patreon now. Hey, guys. If you want to see any behind the scenes or exclusive content that we give, we don't hold anything back there, that's for sure. We'd love for you to go there. You can go to our link in bio or right under this little in the show notes. And hey, babes.
Hello, darling.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, that was a lot.
I know we've added another thing in there.
I know. It's very exciting about our Patreon.
It's very exciting. We have been working on this for a long time.
God, it feels like too long because we're kind of being like, we don't know what we want to do. And we want to hear from you guys. If you like the content, and we want to hear about what content you guys want to see, what kind of exclusive content. So if there's anything you guys want to see, how we make our podcasts, or if we want to talk about really how to make a woman come kind of thing, we can really talk about the inner nitty gritty details.
The inner nitty gritty.
The inner nitty gritty details.
Yeah, we can go into more detail.
Yeah.
There.
Exactly. So
as compared to here.
Exactly. So let us know. You can always obviously email us on our website or anything like that. DM us. Let us know what you want to hear about. And we also, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you will automatically, if you have Discord, you can be added to our Discord account where you guys can chat and talk, and you guys can ask us all your questions there, or just talk with each other. We're trying to build this community, openness, honesty, fun, and sexy.
We are.
And today we're talking about something a little sexy.
We are. To be truthful.
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about porn.
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 And I say it differently. Porn.
Porn. Porn. It's very posh and porn.
Porn.
About how it really is it hurting our sex lives? Is it hurting intimacy? Is it hurting relationships? Or does it really fucking matter? And are we all just doing okay because porn's existed for a very long time?
Yeah.
And we can't just think this is a new thing.
Yeah.
This is a new phenomenon. What I will say, though, about this is that obviously porn is so readily available now, obviously, that is it becoming too much? Is it ruining relationships because it's becoming too much? Is it ruining intimacy because men at a younger age can now get more addicted, more, they can just watch it wherever they are. It's not so in your day, if I may say so.
Back in the day when we were on horse and buggy.
Well, exactly. And you had to buy your magazines, or guys would steal their mom's Victoria's Secret catalog, and it was a lot more secretive, and you had to kind of work more for your porn on paper. Instead, now everything's just out in the open, even on Instagram, right? You can just go on Instagram and see hot, almost naked women.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's never been a problem for me in my relationships. Porn is never, because I watch porn regularly when I'm masturbating, obviously, not just in my day-to-day life. I just want to watch a show.
Here we go. Let's have a coffee.
Exactly. And there's shows that have come out, like Heated Rivalry, right? Where it's just porn on the screen. There's other shows obviously this is an old movie, but 50 Shades of Grey, and it's getting way more mainstream.
The one about the women in the South that I just watched.
Yeah.
What's that?
Hunting Wives or
yes,
whatever.
Hunting Wives.
And
that was pretty lesbian-y.
Well, there's so many.
Porny.
There's Sex Life on Netflix.
Yeah.
And all of these shows that are very much putting sex in the forefront and are not hiding it. And I think it's not a bad thing. I think we should be more normalized about sex. I know in the UK, you guys talk about sex regularly. You guys have naked shows on all the time. It's not weird.
I think Europeans are a lot less puritanical about it.
Right.
I mean, I know people think that the Brits are very closed, but we're actually a lot more open about it. Any magazine, I just think it's and like you said, there are shows with bits and bobs.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have somebody's have sex and they've got their bra on, like you see in Sex and the City or whatever. They just have had sex and she's wearing a bra, and you're like, that's not really the way it works, is it?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I'm pretty sure
generally
we
come
take
off.
our bra off.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the thing that is very different today, or I don't know, would we say it's the last maybe 5 years, 5-10 years, maybe 5 years, is that women have more access to porn, and they're watching porn without feeling shame, and that there is more porn that women can watch. It's not all about the pleasure for men, the gratification of men, which obviously is the origins of porn, and that's very, very much changed. And I think younger women compared to older women are pretty open about it. It's like, everyone watches porn. I mean, I think a lot of people in my generation are still walking around going, nobody watches porn. That's a complete fucking lie. It's a multi-billion-dollar business.
Absolutely.
Somebody's watching it.
A lot of people are watching it.
I just think that in, my generation, there was just very little for women.
The access. Or even,
it's not just the access. It's just like, I don't want to watch that. It's just gross men for the most part.
Right.
All these ridiculous stories, very, and I think also we weren't open about it. People didn't talk about it. When I was young, like buying sex toys, I mean, that was impossible. That was difficult. That's very much changed. So I think what's changed in porn, one of the big things that's changed is just that everyone can access it, which I think, to be honest, has its good and its bad sides, and that women are open about watching it, and that in the last probably 10 years, there are a lot of kind of they are movie houses, but they just happen to make erotic films that are run by women and making stuff for women, that's not all about the man having a great time.
Well, and we aren't even talking about like OnlyFans, right?
Well, yeah.
Women are finally able to take control of their own like sex work, right?
Yes.
There were no porn women porn houses
cam
or like
girls or only cams. OnlyFans,
But there were always men who were in charge of dealing with the women and like dealing with the money. Now women can make their own money. They don't have to rely on a man to direct and hire them for being a porn star and all these things. They can just do it from the comfort of their own home and be safe about it and not have to prostitute themselves.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think with anything, there's good and there's bad.
Of course.
So I think the thing about porn is like, especially with younger people, like, as kids are growing up, is they can just like go, oh, what do lesbians do? Or what is...
I remember doing that.
What is pegging? Or what is this? Or what is that?
Funny.
And they just put it into Google and up it comes. And, that was just not available to well, to me.
Yeah.
Like, to my generation, like, where were you going to find this stuff? And you were having ridiculous...
The library, of course.
Exactly. Maybe behind some shelves in the library, but not actually any books of any use. But I mean, that's the difference, is that information is out there.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I mean, it's a good thing. Like, what's the problem with asking a question? I don't see the problem. But I think the issue, I think a lot of, I mean, we've talked to doctors, psychologists, in previous episodes about this. I think the issue starts, and I think it is happening a lot with young men, is that their kind of first experiences, because I think it's less so with women, like their first experiences of watching porn are, they're going to Pornhub or whatever the various options are now, and they're seeing stuff, and then... And this is before they're actually having sexual experiences. And then they start to have sexual experiences and they're like, oh,
this isn't like this at all.
Oh, this woman had, was, literally got her legs, over a trapeze or whatever. Like, doing stuff that we can't actually do.
Or they're like doing anal right away. And like, they're just like.
Exactly. Or they've got
this isn't how this works.
Dildos up there. Whatever. Or, they're doing stuff
guys are being over-sexualized way too early.
And not understanding that, these women are professionals. Like,
and
they've
it's also
practiced
not.
this.
This isn't that fun.
Normal
Like it's
people.
not real sex.
It's not real
It's
sex.
entertainment.
It's exactly. It's not. That's a very good way of putting it. These kind of crazy positions and holding up. Like, this isn't what people do because they can't do it unless they've actually practiced this or they're a gymnast. That especially when you're young, that's not where you're starting. You're kind of fumbling, probably not working particularly well. So it's just giving them a false sense of what the actual reality is.
Yeah.
I mean, but the good side of it is they can get some information. But the bad side of it is
too much,
falling into this black hole of only doing that. And then, of course, there's the AI girlfriends and virtually simulated stuff.
That's actually the part
and all that kind of stuff.
A little afraid of. And I think, obviously, like I'm saying it's not, and it's never been a problem for me because I'm a very sexual person. I understand the need for porn and all that stuff. But I do understand the problem of Gen Zs because I didn't grow up watching porn.
Yeah, exactly.
My generation didn't really.
You were an adult by the time you were.
Yeah, like we didn't like grow up watching like all this Pornhub and like worry that we weren't gonna. I don't know. Like it was never a worry for our generation. But like I can understand now that people are watching porn way earlier, like way
like
earlier,
12, 13.
Oh, and we went on these stupid, like, I remember when we were younger, like 13, whatever, 14, we would go on these little chat sites. Like, it was horrible. We should not have been on these chat sites. But you go into these chat sites and where you just like rotate through people everywhere throughout the world. There's always a guy with the dick out. At least a bunch of people with dicks out, and we're like 13-year-olds, and this is a sleepover. Anyways, it's the whole thing. Yeah. I feel like this is a very shared experience with a lot of millennials.
And they probably shouldn't have had their dicks out.
Oh, 100%. You're not supposed to have your dicks out,
No,
like you're supposed to chat.
Good. Yeah.
Whatever. But we're on there because we're like, we're going to see a dick. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Anyways, so, but that was like the most like porn we as like girls would have saw. Like, we're not like searching and going on Pornhub. It's too scary. But people are so, like, kids and like young adults are so desensitized now to porn because it's in mainstream media, because of OnlyFans, because that's an actual career that some women or young women are looking up to now.
Oh yeah, and
it's not good.
I also think that it's one thing kind of Googling, okay, what does this mean? I've heard this word
for sure.
What does pegging mean, or what does I don't know,
tripping?
What
tripping?
What's tripping?
The scissoring.
Oh, scissoring. Right. That's why.
But it's called tripping.
Okay, tripping. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Is
tripping?
That's a word. Whatever. You're just like, oh, I've heard this, and I want to know what it is. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Right.
But I think what happens is when it sort of just becomes this, like you're 13 and you're looking up, I don't know, bisexual MMF, whatever the 100%. Fuck it. Like the point is you're running before you can walk.
Well, because
if you know what I mean,
and
you're not looking at like, okay, let's start with the basics.
Yes,
you're like already before you've even had sex.
Yes,
you know that you know about strap-ons and MMF orgies and MMF threesomes, and
because Pornhub is like any other algorithm,
chicks with
and
dicks.
It will
What's
push,
the nice way of saying chicks with dicks?
Transsexuals.
Yeah, can we say that now?
Yes, fuck it. We're saying that. I don't think.
But like,
I don't think they're our listeners.
Transsexual porn and like.
But it's the algorithm, right? It'll push, and it doesn't know that these kids are kids.
No,
or like if you're under 18 or 18, and like they're pushing this algorithm, which like doesn't make it any better.
And there's no actual time for them to kind of experience anything because they've actually probably not even kissed anyone, and they've already seen whatever they've seen,
right?
And I think that's the problem. And of course, I think girls do look at it just as much. I just think boys get more kind of in the rabbit hole of it, like get more really into it. I don't think there are that many girls,
of course, because they masturbate way earlier than women, like typically,
and it's just
like girls do, and
it's just but I just think that's the problem, and I think that it is the problem with the world we live in is the amount of information that is out there, but the amount of it that's just bullshit. So that you actually, I mean, if you started watching porn when you're 13, you'd think that everyone was out there doing all sorts of fucking shit, and they're not doing any of it.
Yeah.
And you get this complete false sense of that. I mean, obviously we live in a world also where people are a lot more fluid with their ideas or their identities, or they're not so hung up about being in a box. And I think that's a good thing, because I mean, if you want to live your life like that,
Yeah.
go ahead and do that. Like, would literally do whatever makes you happy, really. But I think that there's a point where, does anybody know what they want, because they've just got so much
Right.
information.
And is it too much information now?
And I don't know how. I mean, how you circumvent that. And you get all sort of these groups, and like in the UK, actually, and it's I'm not sure how many countries in Europe now we have a lot of age gating of stuff. And
which I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
it's not a bad thing, but there really is kind of where is the line with that? But I don't think it's a bad thing. But is it too late? I don't know. But are people seeing crazy, disgusting shit
Right, before
online?
and then they're, like, traumatized almost.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jesus, people are seeing famous people, Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck,
Oh
for
my
Christ's sake,
God,
and that's
Jesus
all online. And I don't
horrible.
care what you've, and obviously that has nothing to do with porn, but I
No, but it's just the
it's
trauma that
just
people
seeing
were
something.
desensitized to it.
Just That's insane that you've seen
Mhm.
that. And so, yeah, you're
Yeah.
totally desensitized. And
Mhm.
so I think when you get desensitized to stuff, you just want more and more weird stuff. And I think
Right.
that's
It's
kind of the
horrible.
problem, because it's a bit like, and I always think that in terms of my feeling, what is addictive behavior is that I don't think it matters whether it's sex, shopping, drinking, drugs, whatever it is. If you do something that literally invades your everyday life to the point that you can't function if you're doing this thing, whether it is watching porn, masturbating, having God knows how many partners, whatever it is, that is a problem, because I think life is about balance. Relationships are about balance. Some people are more sexual than other people, but I don't think that's the point. I just think life is all of the things. It shouldn't be hugely one thing and not another thing. It should be a balance of things. Of course, you should be doing what you enjoy and whatever that is. But if you're doing something that basically takes over your life, then there's a problem. And I think that's the problem where porn, or even it's the same as sex addiction. If you're doing nothing else, like, or very little else, to the exclusion of, like, you just watch porn all the time, or you can't get through the day, which I think that is happening. Like, literally, then that is a bit of a problem. And you're
Well,
not 12. Like,
yeah.
you're like, you're not 13. I mean, I know stories when my girls were in high school, what the boys,
Well, I was
how
gonna
much
ask,
their porn addiction was.
because obviously, like, you have 2 daughters.
Mm.
Do you think your opinion would be different on this if you had 2 sons? Because you'd have to maybe, like, not saying you don't have to protect your daughters, because obviously, like, you're
I
very
th
open, but, like,
I
you have to
th
sort of help your
Yeah.
sons
Yeah, it
not
would.
get addicted to something that's
Yeah,
so
I mean, it
available.
would be, because it's a different kind of issue.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm very open-minded. I'm not I know most people, it completely horrifies, disgusts them, and freaks them out, the thought that their children are not their children, sorry, take that back, singer. That younger people have seen porn.
Mhm.
The reality is they have. And I think, my opinion also about social media is that we live in this world, so you need to teach your children how to consume this stuff, and how to know, not consume it, how to know what's wrong and what's right, what is completely fucked up and what isn't.
Mhm.
That is my belief. That's the way I've raised my children. They're pretty balanced, then they're pretty stable. They know when they watch something, I'm like, that's
Mhm.
just stupid. And if there are stupid people online, there's stupid stuff, and there's really dangerous and dark and weird stuff, and you have to know what to not look at.
Here's the truth. No one knows what you want better than you. And honestly, you deserve to give it to yourself. Guybreeder.com is all about men owning their pleasure, their confidence, and their wellness without shame, without apologies. Just premium tools designed for your tool. For men who know what they want and aren't afraid to give it to themselves. Because when you give yourself what you want, you show up stronger, happier, and more confident. Go ahead. You've earned it. Visit Guybreeder.com. That's GUYBRATOR.com to take matters into your own hands.
But I mean, Yeah, I think I probably would. I mean, I think it's also, girls, you're worried about, um, them getting to situations where men take advantage of them or something awful happens. Boys, I think nowadays the difference with mothers is that women, you have to be very concerned about the whole kind of consent issue about the way they
Yeah.
treat women, being very respectful. I think that's a big worry, and I think porn is a part of that
Mhm.
because the reality is if you're a young man, you are going to be watching porn or seeking it out. I mean, let's be honest.
Mhm.
But I think and then it's a privacy issue, right? It's like, you can't sort of be monitoring, that. Well, I mean, I guess you can, but I mean, that is a very tricky thing. And I think the problem is people can be watching really dark, weird, really weird stuff
Mhm.
at 14 and
Well, there's this,
younger.
and I don't mean, I don't wanna bring, like, anything too scary up, but, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fucked up things on YouTube even,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
That, like, there's all these, like, challenges for,
Yes.
like,
Yes. And
younger
yeah.
people, and, some of them are literally, like, how to unalive
Yes.
yourself,
Yes. Yes.
and it's really getting scary, and so,
Yes.
like, absolutely what you're saying, it's like, how do you monitor it because you want your kids to, like, trust you and, like, have a sense of privacy
Yeah.
because, it is a privilege to have privacy, but you wanna
Mm.
make them feel like
Yeah.
they can have that, but you also have to be so just now in this age, I know your kids are a bit older, so, like,
Mm.
thank God they didn't maybe go through this exactly,
Mm.
but, like,
Yeah.
it is so scary, like, they're on YouTube and, like, you just think they're watching music videos, or I don't know what kids are watching these days,
I
and it's these scary videos that just come up and, like
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to open your eyes. I mean,
yeah.
I suppose my kids were young teenagers when all the social medias,
Mhm.
Instagram and so forth were starting. So particularly my younger one, like definitely was when this was all kind of exploding. I just think you have to open your eyes, you have to be very aware and just don't be naive.
Yeah.
And don't be scared of having conversations. Like,
Right.
come on, you were 15 once, you were 16 once. Like, be aware. But it's I'm not going to tell you it's easy because it isn't.
Yeah.
And I think that is the problem with the availability of porn.
Mhm.
And it wouldn't. I don't think it would be such an issue if it was like, I mean, what exactly is normal porn? But I mean, if it was sort of in a range of what, let's say, what are the realm of sort of fantasies, but we're talking, it goes into very dark and weird fucking
Well,
shit,
because
and
men
that's the problem.
yeah,
And they
because
do, but and there
it's
are
like, choking women and, like,
exactly,
fucking them. It's
exactly.
like, "Okay, that's a lot for, like,
Yeah.
what."
But that, I mean, that sort of stuff's been around a long time and gangbangs and all of that.
For sure, but,
But
like,
you
not
couldn't
so
but
available.
you couldn't get hold of it at a very young age. And you
Exactly.
couldn't be watching it at 13 and
Exactly.
think, and of course, the all those shows like, which was a little bit different, but adolescence was
Mhm.
about, spending too much time online. Maybe that was more about the incel thing, but it's the same kind of thing. And I would particularly say, and now we're sort of talking about something different, but I think anybody who is spending really large amounts of time online
Mhm.
outside of work or stream, watching Netflix,
Yeah.
like chilling out after work or at the weekend or whatever. If they're like gaming or in these weird kind of chat rooms or looking, well, obviously at porn or doing anything like really long periods of time. And I think when somebody's a young adult, when they're in their 20s, really what can you do? Because you really should be self-monitoring yourself. But as a parent or an older adult, if you can see that happening, that is when the warning bells would go off for
Mhm.
me. And I would very early on, and I never had this issue in the sense that both my children are very, very sociable.
Mm.
So they had a big life in the real world.
Mhm.
And that
Well,
that
and
is an
you
issue.
have to, I mean, I'm not a parent, obviously, but
Mm.
you have to push your kids into being sociable.
Of course, yeah.
You have to.
But it's difficult
Like, I
because
was pushed into being sociable. That's
so was I.
why
So
I
was I.
am who I am now, and I'm very grateful I did not like it at the time.
So was I. I was
But
pushed into
you have to.
talking, and when I grew up, it was all about push yourself outside your comfort zone. So
Absolutely.
go out there and talk to that person, even if you don't want to.
And, like, do this
But,
weird class,
but
like, go do that sport, like,
yeah,
try it
but
out,
people
like
are, they are online, they are at home more.
mhm.
because,
Yeah.
they don't wanna go out because they wanna spend money. That's one part of it. They can't be asked is a big part of it. I
Mhm.
mean, at the end of the day, you don't
Well,
have
this is your world right now. Your
yeah,
phone is your
you don't
world.
have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So you're like, "Oh, I can't be bothered." So, it's effort,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't be bothered to go out, so you stay at home, and then you get into these, um, kind of, well, essentially black holes, and the thing about porn and the accessibility and availability of many ranges of it, some
Mhm.
going into, you know well, I mean, you can find anything about anything, can't you? And the problem is how easy you can find that really they're not. And how let to be for these companies, how on earth are they supposed to stop? There are age gates and stuff like that, but kids know how to get around this stuff. And
Yeah, you have to educate your kids properly
yeah,
enough and, like,
they get around this.
make sure that
Yeah.
they feel they can come to you if there is a
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
or they saw something weird and they wanna talk to you about it, like
100% that's part of it. But I
yeah.
I mean, I guess we've gone off a bit track of the
Yeah, a little
original
bit.
thing. But I mean, I think the thing also about porn and the availability of it
Yeah.
is that because now you can do it in private,
Yeah.
and there are all sorts of ways of doing it, in a different browser or that not
Yeah.
detecting what you're doing. Nobody knows what you're doing. Whereas in the old days,
Yes.
you got to actually go into a bloody shop
Yeah.
and
Oh my god, you
and
have to go into, like,
yeah, of
an
course.
internet cafe
Well, I mean,
or the
when you talk the
library.
the magazines,
Right.
well in
Or,
England,
yeah,
I
get a
don't know here they
magazine. Yeah, yeah.
talk about the top shelf magazines. They were always on the top shelf so kids couldn't reach them in England.
Oh my god, that's
And of
so
course
cool.
not women didn't buy them,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
men bought them. But you know,
Well, is it ruining relationships now? But I don't think I mean, we might be at that point, but I think
mhm,
addictions have always happened. Like, this has started since porn has been available. I think
mhm.
porn addictions are just
Yeah, I mean,
happening.
and
Are
I
there
think
more porn addictions
yeah.
now that ruin
I think
relationships?
the pawn thing is one thing. I think the other level of it, and I don't in any way criticize anybody involved in this industry, but it's like the fact that you can, follow somebody on Instagram who's
Mhm.
an OnlyFans girl, and
Mhm.
then you follow her, and nobody knows you're following her, nobody knows you're
Well,
looking
but
or
you can
interacting.
see
I know that,
that.
yeah, but I mean, you can do a lot of things without people really knowing what you're
Right.
doing, and you can do that in your spare time rather than meeting real people. And then you are, let's say, interacting
And let's say that
online.
OnlyFans girl is actually an AI bot with an
Well,
Indian guy on the other side.
that's just like, you know. But I mean, there's that. But there's also, you as an, let's say, oh no, like a normal person, like
Mhm.
you're not fucking Heidi Klum or whoever. I'm trying to think of. I can never think of anybody I think is amazing. Who's a young? Oh, Sweeney.
Oh, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Great one.
You're not,
Great tits.
Sydney Sweeney, or what's the male version of her? Like, who's the really hot at the
Jacob
moment?
Elordi,
Okay, no
who's
idea
like
who that is. So
okay.
there you go.
Well,
So let's say most of us are not those two people,
yeah.
and then you go on to OnlyFans or whatever, and of course you can have access as a more, shall we say, ordinary person
Sure.
to those people,
Absolutely.
and then you go out into the world and you're like, "Oh,
No one's like
nobody looks
this.
like
Right.
Sydney Sweeney," and you're like, I mean, Sydney Sweeney already looks amazing, but then she's had an awful lot of help, and those pictures are like,
Yeah,
the
and
whole
of
thing.
course she's naturally beautiful.
And good for
Of
her. And,
course.
if I had tits like that, I'd
Fuck
be doing what she's
yeah.
doing. But I mean, leave her alone. I wish everyone would fuck off and leave her alone. I saw something the other day about it. I was just like, you dried up
People are
fucking prune. Leave her alone. Like, she is a very attractive young woman.
really funny.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And, and they were complaining about how all she is a pair of tits. And I'm like,
It's like
well,
maybe.
maybe. Great pair of
Good for
tits.
her.
But I mean, just like,
Oh my
fuck
god,
off,
that's
you.
so funny.
Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, the point is that I think that is the issue, is that online we now feel, and then
Mhm.
AI girlfriends and all this kind of stuff, that you can have access to these kind of people, or versions or ideal versions of people that of course you don't in real life. And then you go out into the real world, and men are and we see this all the time in their comments, are like, oh, women are fat and ugly and whatever. And then women are like, fucking hell, all the men are gross and annoying and whatever.
Yeah.
A- And I think that is the problem. But then you as a person have to get a fucking grip.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm being harsh here.
Fuck yeah.
It's like, you know, if that is something that you do, then, that's a little bit of enjoyment that you want to do. That's really up to you. But that's not real. You have to know
Mhm.
it's not real. And porn is not real. These people are actors. They are entertaining you. And they have
Entertainment.
practiced this many times, whatever they're doing.
It's like when we go see a
It's not.
superhero movie,
I
we
know.
don't think this is real life.
I
Why do we think
know.
porn is real
I've
life?
no
That is the
idea.
biggest problem. And like exactly like the AI girlfriend thing is actually, I think, my biggest qualm with this. Like,
Yeah.
because it's not like
Qualm.
I don't like. I'm like, this isn't like a fear of mine that all men are gonna get addicted to AI girlfriends. Like, no, men love real connections.
Yeah.
I have so many male friends who would never like, get into the AI girlfriends. It would just be insane. But there is a big community,
a big cohort,
a big cohort of I think younger guys,
yeah,
who and even like
who've checked
older
out,
lonely guys
who can't be
who
bothered.
have checked out, who don't want to deal with women because women are becoming successful and we don't need men like we
Apparently,
used to.
we're awful gold diggers.
And we're all gold digging bitches and sluts, and we have too many. We have and slags, and we have too many sexual partners. All these things, and they can just go find an AI girlfriend who is like, can AI fuck them with their fucking goggles and their fucking machine? And it's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, and you don't want real intimacy, that's fine. You're gonna go do that. But the men who still want real intimacy, who are the majority,
the majority.
like,
I'm sorry, the majority.
I don't think we have to really worry about this.
No, I don't think the majority of people are people who want to have connections, who maybe have had some fucked up relationships, but would ultimately really like to have a great connection because.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you this as I'm 53, that it's a fucking long life.
Absolutely.
If you're on your own. All those people go, oh, I love being on your own. I think you should be very happy with yourself and happy with your life, but it is better. I'm sorry.
If you can share it with someone.
It is. And there are plenty of perfectly nice, normal, happy, kind people out there that we could all couple up with.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about porn is today is not in of it itself. I think most people do. I don't have a problem with it because I think if people didn't want it, it wouldn't be there, and it's been there forever. The problem is there's the access to it of all ages, which isn't great. The crazy fucking levels of it, of weirdness, and weirdness I have never even seen myself because it just gets so fucking weird you haven't even, and so that's the problem is if you are young, male or female,
and you don't know how to process this information.
No, you don't have to process
new information.
And you haven't actually started having relationships,
real intimate
physical
relationships,
or mental with people, emotional with people, and then you see all this shit. I mean, what does it make you think? And of course that's dangerous. And I think that even an adult who is watching or consuming a huge amount of this, that is concerning. And that is not going to go in a good place. If you are using, it's like, are you having a couple of glasses of wine at the weekend? Maybe, let's be frank, a few more than a couple. But, are you having a few drinks? Are you socializing? Do you enjoy going shopping now and again and getting a few nice things? Do you like watching porn now and again? That's fine. It's like anything. It's completely fine. But don't do it all the time. From 8 till whatever.
If you can't take a break, then there is a problem.
That's the point. If you can't go about your business and your life and go to work,
you can't take a day off, you can't take a week off, you can't take a month off,
see your friends, or do what the fuck it is without doing this, it's like, if you can't get up in the day, I think the easiest way of explaining, if you can't get up in the day without having 4 vodka shots, you've got a problem.
My God.
So if you can't get up and go to work without watching
porn in the morning,
whatever the fuck you're watching,
your AI girlfriend saying good morning to you,
exactly, then maybe
have a problem.
Maybe you should reevaluate things.
Well, if you guys have a porn addiction, call us. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we're gonna be the phone lines are gonna be, the emails are it's gonna crash our server.
No, I mean, I think the majority, we have to learn how to deal with this new technology, obviously, and we are learning how to. It's just like
take
AI
it as
chat,
it comes,
like we have to deal with this new technology.
It's not slowing down.
Talk about it with other people. Don't isolate yourself. Like,
please try
keep
not to
on
do that.
Going out, having a good time. 2026 is the year of going out. and having a good time.
Apparently, I keep seeing this.
That is what we're doing.
Wow.
So, do it.
Do it.
Go out, find a nice woman in real life or man.
Yeah, and you know, I do get people saying this to me who say, "Look, I'm sort of shy. I'm not somebody who likes drinking. I'm not somebody who likes going to bars and stuff." Well, then fine. Then do something that doesn't involve that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that don't involve it.
There's a lot of things that I don't want to do, like hiking, but
that's
fine.
Go play paintball.
Who? Paintball?
I don't
know.
Paintball.
Go hiking. Go running.
Do something active. Get the endorphins up.
Look, exactly.
Get the endorphins up.
Go, in Canada, like, people love the outdoors. Go and do all of that shit.
Mel hates the outdoors.
I mean, they will never find me in a tent. Let's be frank. I've never actually stayed a long period in a tent, and I never want to.
It's okay. You don't need to.
But if you like it, great, good for you. I understand you like nature and all that shit. That's lovely.
Shit.
Just
literal shit outside.
Just that keen.
Well, yeah. If you guys have thoughts about the porn in this new era of life, what are your guys' thoughts on it? We want to hear from you.
How do we deal with it?
Yeah, how do we deal with it? What are you guys doing to kind of help yourself not be addicted? Or do you have an AI girlfriend? Yes. We want to hear about how that's going. How's that relationship going?
I mean, do you have an AI boyfriend?
Exactly.
We don't talk about that, do we?
No, we don't. But there is a woman who I heard married ChatGPT. Perfect boyfriend, maybe. But can't fuck you, right? Yeah, we're fucked. We're totally fucked. Yeah, you guys can always message us on sharemytruth.com. Sharemytruth.com. Or you guys can always DM us at sharemytruthpod on Instagram and TikTok. We'd love to hear from you there. And now Patreon, guys. Go to our Patreon. It's linked down below, or you can go to our link in bio. It's there too. We'd love for you to subscribe, and we'll see you there.
Till next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. To keep up to date with all our episodes and content, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Sharing My Truth Pod. For bonus premium content and the really juicy exclusive episodes, subscribe to our Patreon and our premium YouTube. Thanks again, and we'll chat with you next week.